Preloaded, okay, thank you. All right, good evening, everyone. I will call this meeting to order and ask everyone to please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, thank you. You have the roll call, Mrs. Ramirez, and we will have the superintendent's report, Mrs. Piazza.
Thank you and good evening, everyone. I actually only have one item, and I'm going to call Mr. Geiger to the podium for that item. But tonight we have some students from our high school who are being recognized through our National Merit Scholarship Program. And so that I don't steal the thunder, I'm just going to turn it over to Mr. Geiger to explain a little bit about that and then acknowledge our students that are here this evening.
Thank you very much. I appreciate the opportunity. We do have 11 students that we would like to recognize this evening. These students were all awarded academic honors from the College Board National Recognition Program. I know we do have a couple of them here tonight. Unfortunately, a couple did contact me today with last-minute, very busy senior activities that they're going on. But these awards recognize high-performing students and help them stand out as they are looking into their college acceptances. Each Easton Area High School students have received awards from College Board in 5 separate areas. So I'll go through each one, and I'll say the name of all the students, whether they were able to make it or not. And if you are here, if you don't mind, please standing up to be recognized as well. So the first award goes to National African American Recognition Award. We had 3 students that received that award at Easton Area High School: Brandy Carter, Xavier Parker, and Emmanuel Rodriguez Zapata. This young man is Xavier. The National Hispanic Recognition Award, we had 2 students at Easton Area High School receive that recognition as well: Aiden Chinshu and Aiden Colon. Both of those students received that award as well. New to the College Board Recognition Program this year is the First Generation Award. Goes to a student going to college, first generation in their family. We had 4 students receive that award from Easton Area High School: Hargun Jaswal, Japji Mundi, Haktan Yildiz, sorry if I messed that up, and Matthew Yu. All 4 of those received that award as well. Matthew's I don't know if you stood up or not. The more traditional awards coming from College Board and the National Merit Scholar Qualifying Test, we did have 2 students that are commended scholars. Commended scholars are students that ranked among the top 5% of the over 1.3 million students nationwide who took the qualifying test. Those 2 students are Sajwal Mushtaq and Leah Berry. And then finally, a National Merit semifinalist. We did have 1 student at Easton Area High School this year that will continue on in the competition as a semifinalist. And semifinalist ranked in the top 1% of all students taking the National Merit Scholar. And he will continue in the competition, which will be named in the spring of 2025, Matthew Yu. The National Merit Scholar Program allows students to share their strong academic achievements with colleges and scholarship programs seeking to recruit diverse talent. We are so proud to celebrate our students and recognize them for the great work that they're doing. There's so much that makes our students unique, and receiving this honor reinforces this asset for their future. Congratulations to all of our students who received those awards, and thank you for the opportunity to recognize them.
And I do want to congratulate all of our students as well. It is quite an accomplishment. It is certainly not easy to rank among their peers across the nation and across the state. And so congratulations to all of you who have accomplished that task, and we wish you the best of luck as you're moving forward in your academic career. I also want to take this opportunity, since I don't have anything else official, to wish our board and our community a happy Thanksgiving and a safe holiday. As you know, our plans are still underway for a less than traditional Thanksgiving event, but we hope to see everybody out there celebrating with us, and we certainly wish our football team much success on the field as well. So thank you and happy holidays to everyone.
All right, thank you. Moving on to reports, we will start with the CIU 20 report. Mr. Snyder.
Yes, thank you. Real brief, I did email out the newsletter to the board back on October 24th. And just one note, at our last meeting, we had a young man who's a Nather student, but he's working on his Eagle Scout project, which he's going to be giving back to the IU, doing quite an extensive project. His name is Brody Muthard, so he is continuing on the project, and we wish him well on that. So I will send an update. There's a nice news article that was written about him. I'll send that up to the board as well. In our next IU meeting, there is no meeting in November, so our next meeting will be in December, and that's all for the IU.
All right, thank you, Mr. Snyder. The Eastern Area Public Library, Mrs. Ramirez-Lurs was not able to be here this evening, but she did send a report for board members that is attached to your agenda. CIT this evening, who has, Susan? Great.
Okay, I attended a meeting at CIT. They were very happy to have hired an electrical construction tech instructor. He's on board and moving forward. They also did their annual health benefits. They were very happy about that. And our next meeting will be in December the 12th, which I can't attend, so hopefully my co-people can be there. It's my Christmas party. So. Yep. And the cupcakes were delicious.
All right, thank you. All right, Northampton Community College, Mr. Fainall.
Thank you. So, gave you a rather extensive report this month. We had a lot of discussion on many topics, but there's two that stand out. And one is, as we surveyed our students that graduated in 2023, 94% of them that graduated reported back, and they either are employed and or they're moving on to college. So obviously, good for us. And, you know, we find usually when they're employed that they typically stay within the community. So that's another plus for us. The other one's real important, though, and that's when you look at the seniors moving on. And just as informational, but, you know, if you can get it out through the high school or anything, it would really be helpful. Our enrollment vehicle and staff is going to be down at City Hall on December 2nd between 5 p.m. and 7 p.m. to assist people through the FAFSA process. I think as we've talked before, you know, we've known that this past year there was a lot of disaster with the FAFSA process, and you know, it's not one of the easiest processes to get through, but we will have staff there and everything to help. And obviously, if they're there, there can always be further follow-up and things like that that go on. So whatever you can do to get that word out is probably most helpful. Thank you.
I'm sorry, what time?
Any meetings until January, so I'll have nothing to report until after that.
What time on December 2nd?
5 to 7.
5 to 7, thank you.
And board members, the NCC report is attached, but it's not loading, so I asked Ally to try again. So you can check back in a few minutes, hopefully. Okay, foundation report. I do not have anything beyond what is attached to the agenda for board members. Mrs. Hess, anything from Charles Schrin this month?
Yes, we do. We had a meeting, and I am excited to announce that we had originally thought we would be doing $26,000 to the high school for the technology, not the technology, the STEM group, and $26,000 to the CIT. However, we were lucky enough to be able to allow the replacement for the Stratasys F170 3D printer for our high school, which came just under $26,000, and this is to help the architect students to print large parts in color, senior students to print any materials for end-of-year presentations of their prototype, and for TSA members for their projects at the regional and state competition. And for the CIT, we actually awarded a little over $30,000, which was great because it covered their full presentation, which was for a multi-process welder machine, which helps develop the technical skills in preparation for certs and such as the AWS and the NOCTI and careers in welding, and that was just a little under $31,000. So I would also like to thank Bob for diligently continuing to run that part of it for the Schrin Foundation. So thank you.
All right, thank you. And our student representative, Zach Mattis, is here with us tonight also.
Hi, everyone. Thank you for having me. 2 weekends ago, we had our homecoming, which was a success, and everyone had a fun night that went. Currently, the freshman, sophomore, and junior classes are planning for how they will decorate their hallways in the Spirit Week. Then also the seniors are going to put up some simple Easton decorations in the hallway, and we'll have a theme for each day of Turkey Week. I would also like to say that the cancellation of the bonfire was of course disappointing, but we respect the decision because the safety of our community is more important. Currently, we are already busy in planning for an exciting alternative to the bonfire. Then the members of the Powder Puff teams are practicing for their big game, and the football team, band, and cheerleaders are excited and preparing for their game while also attending elementary school pep rallies to show what the tradition means to those young students. That's all I have for tonight. Have a happy Thanksgiving and beat Peaburg.
Thank you. All right, and association reports, we have Ms. Viscomi here with us tonight to make a report from the PTA.
Good evening. So I had two of our schools actually send in a report. So the middle school is planning to add Chloe Guerrera's name to the plaque and memorial tree in the middle school courtyard. They are hoping, as long as the family is agreeable, to hold a nice ceremony in the spring to do that. The sixth grade Boo Bash was a big success. They had a lot of donations and parent chaperones. They're hoping to do a glow dance in January. The dances become very important because they help fund the end of the year field days for all the students. And be on the lookout for information on their upcoming Winter Wonderland event, which is an opportunity for the students to shop for holiday gifts. It's all done by donation, so it doesn't cost the students anything. They're going to be looking for, or continuing to look for, donations of gently used items as well as wrapping paper, tape, and gift bags. For the high school, the written report says that they're looking for volunteers and donations for the snack stand at the bonfire, but obviously that has changed. So on behalf of Area Council and the high school PTA, we want to make sure that you guys are aware that however we can help to make the bonfire and even the day before successful for the seniors, please let us know because we're happy to help in whatever way that we can. We kind of expect that maybe that'll be on the agenda this Thursday at our high school PTA meeting as plans kind of develop.
So I will share, thank you for that, and I'm sure Mr. Geiger and others will reach out as needed, but I will share that the PTA, snack stand, the Coke wagon will make its way to Cottingham, and so that will still happen as it normally would, just in a different location, so volunteers may still be needed for that portion of the event.
Yes, when I talked to Nancy yesterday, we weren't quite sure if that was going to happen yet or not, so as long as that's going to happen, we'll still be looking for the volunteers and the donations.
Yes.
And then in February, Broadheads Heroes is bringing the Harlem Wizards back to our district for a charity game against our teachers and administration. All the PTAs are invited to be a part of this so that it can be a fun district-wide event. They came a couple of years back, and it was a really fun event for everybody. So as we get closer to February, more information about the game will be distributed. But we are starting our searches to get members of our staff and administration to lace up their sneakers, come out on the court, and play against the Harlem Wizards. It'll be a really fun night, we promise, and we won't laugh or make fun of anybody. So come on out and volunteer to play. And then from Area Council, I just want to say, as we continue to shift away in general from more fundraising to more advocacy work, we've started having discussions at the last roundtable meeting with how the PTAs can partner with the district to help provide families with the vital information and resources that are needed to combat issues like vaping, mental health struggles, and bullying. We are very much looking forward to the prospect of partnering for more parent engagement events to help ensure everyone has access to the resources they need for all of our students to be as successful as possible. So we are definitely looking forward to that shift, and I think it's a much-needed shift given kind of what we're facing in general in the schools and in society as a whole. So, thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Burgum.
Thank you. And Mr. Capone, you have the EAEA report.
So as we all know, November is a very exciting time in Easton. All the traditions that live up to Thanksgiving, lead up to Thanksgiving. I've been in some of our elementary schools where the students are starting to learn about those traditions, and we build that foundation very, very early. It is very sad that some of those traditions have to be adjusted this year, but like Mr. Mattis said, we understand as well, and the staff has their sympathy toward the students who are going to miss out on the grand tradition of the bonfire. However, we do look forward to seeing our entire community come out to the events that are going to take its place. The staff is looking to be able to support the class of 2025, as well as our Rover football team. And the last thing I have to say is we are all definitely looking forward to going up to the Hill on Thursday and seeing our Rovers beat Peaburg. So go Rovers.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Just for one point of clarity for those of you who haven't seen the press release, Mr. Capone just mentioned again, obviously our bonfire is canceled. It's actually postponed. And our students have been working with Mr. Geiger. We will find a date later in the school year that's amenable to the school and the children and allow them to build a bonfire and do that at some other time. It just can't be now during this dry season, but I'm confident that the event will be pretty spectacular because our students came up with some pretty creative ideas today, and I'm not going to let the cat out of the bag, but we're looking forward to all those events.
All right, thank you. So, moving on to item 4, public to be heard on agenda items. At this time, if there's anyone from the public who would like to speak on any matters that are up for board vote this evening, you may approach the podium to do so. There will be another opportunity for public comment on general comments or non-agenda items at the end of the meeting. All right, seeing none, executive session. The Easton Area School District held the following executive sessions on October 22nd and November 12th, 2024. All right, and then item 6A, I'll take a motion to approve the minutes of the following meetings. The standing committee meetings of academics, educational technology, and student supports, both from September 10th and October 8th. Athletics from October 8th, budget and finance, buildings and grounds policy, all from October 8th, and the regular board meeting of October 22nd. Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? All right, motion carries. We will take 7A through E. So 7A, motion to approve withdrawing the offer of employment to the following employee for the failure to fulfill all conditions of employment. Item B, motion to approve the following resignation as presented. Item C, motion to approve the following administrative transfer as presented. Item D, motion to approve the following voluntary transfers as presented. And item E, motion to approve the following changes to the contractual EPFED stipends as presented.
Motion.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. We'll take A through C under academics. Item 8A, motion to approve the field trip requests as presented. Item B, motion to approve the Spanish program as presented. And item C, motion to approve the conference request forms for the SAS Institute 2024 Purposeful Leadership as presented.
Second.
Any questions or discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Item 8D, motion to approve the CIU 20 contracts as presented, including the agreement with Sweet Stevens, Katz, and Williams, and the full-time teacher of the visually impaired.
So, Ms. Iago, if I can
Yes.
just interject, in full transparency for the board, when we had this discussion at the standing committee last week, we had only put on the agenda the contract for Sweet Stevens Cats through technology. Since that time, we felt it was really important to have an additional contract added, and that is for the full-time teacher of the visually impaired. I wanted to bring it to your attention, but I'm also going to ask that Dr. Schultz kind of highlight the reasons why and any other information that you think is necessary, just so that we have the board, so they're informed of why we brought it to them.
So we're bringing this forward tonight as it's urgent when we have student programming that we get teachers in front of our kids. And the students that are going to be impacted by this contract are students who receive instruction in Braille. They receive their academics as well as their support services from a related service provider, which is a teacher of the visually impaired. And part of that is going to the IU, who luckily have a teacher who is able to fulfill all of those responsibilities for our students. And, you know, as it is student programming, we apologize that we didn't have this on last week, but we did want to talk about it a little bit and just give you an update on where we were at with that.
Okay, so I'll take a motion and a second, and then we can have any discussion. Any questions or discussion on that item? All right, all in favor? Aye. Any opposed? All right, motion carries. Moving on to 9A and B. A, motion to approve the financial matters as presented, and B, recommendation to authorize the business office to pay the regular bills in November and December, with all payments to be ratified by the board at its January 2024 regular board meeting.
So I do want to make one statement there regarding B. Before that, we will not need to pay any bills in November. That we are able to do in our December 3rd, so that piece is not necessary. We added it on in case there were bills, but looking at the timing, we don't have to do that. And then as we're looking at the other bills, we will be looking at, obviously, those critical bills that need to be paid because we would not be meeting again until January. So from December 3rd through January, timeframe of our voting meeting is too much time to pass without paying them. So we'll be looking at critical bills that make sure that we're being paid prior to you actually seeing them as a normal process that you follow.
All right, I'll take a motion and a second.
Motion?
Second.
Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motions carry. Let's see. Okay. All right, C, D, E, and F. So C, motion to approve 2 new student activity accounts, namely the Pickleball Club and the Class of 2028 as presented. Item D, motion to approve the sale of the repository property located on Highlands Boulevard for $1,000 as presented. E, motion to approve the purchase of a new walk-in freezer for the EAMS cafeteria for $9,768 from Howard Refrigeration using food service funds as presented. And F, motion to approve the name change of the African Student Association to the African Caribbean Society as presented.
And again, if I may, for letter F, the student activity name, as Ms. Sayago just said, it really is just a name change, but with that came the question of inclusivity, and so that is an inclusive club regardless of the name. The bylaws of that have not really changed. It's just trying to broaden the spectrum of kids that they're supporting, but any student is welcome to consider that club if they so choose.
Motion.
Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, motions carry. Items 10A through C. 10A, motion to approve the credit change order for indoor air quality project at the high school, middle school in the amount of $13,370 as per attached. Item B, motion to approve the purchase of a used 12x60 transportation trailer in the amount of $37,268.49 as per attached. And item C, motion to apply for the 2024 Clean Bus Rebate Grant Program by completing the attached certification form and approval letter as per attached.
Motion.
Second.
Any questions, comments?
Question on, the change order is a credit back to us, is that correct?
Exactly.
Okay, just wanted to clarify, thank you.
I just want to thank everyone who was involved in the transportation trailer, getting it together. It's been a while, but I appreciate everybody's effort. I'm sure our employees will too. Thank you.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, motions carry. We'll take each one of these policies separately, just in case there's any conversation. Each one of them is a first reading. So 11A, Policy 918, the Title I Parent and Family Engagement Policy. Ms. Dufour, if you want to add anything, go ahead.
Absolutely. So for these 4 policies are up for their first reading this evening, and they'll be on for vote December 3rd. The first one that you see is the Policy 918, Title I Parent and Family Engagement. Members of the C&I team reviewed this policy and went over some recent recommendations based on a Title I audit, and we added those amendments to just enhance the current policy that we have in place. The second one that you see there is Policy 254, which is Educational Opportunity for Military Children. This policy has been updated based on the recommendation from a recent issue of PSBA's PNN+. The proposed amendment adds language to include children of the National Guard or Reserve, members who are required to relocate due to service obligations. This basically ensures that the children are covered under the definition of children of military families when they're transferring public schools across states. 012, this is school board committees, and this includes our 7th committee, which is the Educational Technology and Student Reports. So you'll see that amendment in there. And then the final one is Policy 008.1, which is an updated organizational chart. So that amendment just updates the chart to reflect current roles and structures. So when you take a look at all 4 of these policies that are up for amendment on their first reading this evening, the aim is really to align district policies with the recent recommendations, evolving needs, and organizational goals of the district.
Okay, let's just take all of them, and then if there's any conversation. So I'll take a motion to approve all first reading.
Right, so just a reading for this
So
evening.
we're not voting on them then?
Not for this one. So this
Oh,
is first
okay.
reading only, and then we'll add them for vote for December 3rd.
Okay, all right. So does anyone have any questions or comments, I guess, on any of these policies? Give everyone a second to think.
And then certainly if there are, we will take those questions next board meeting as well prior to the vote.
Right. Okay. Okay, and of course, if anyone has any questions, you can always email Mrs. Dufour. Okay. All right, so 12A, motion to approve the 2025 regular and standing committee meeting schedule and advertisement as presented.
Motion.
Any questions or discussion? All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. And item B, motion to approve the expulsion hearing waiver form for student number 34104 under the terms as presented.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. All right, that concludes the voting portion of our meeting. We will move on now to public to be heard on non-agenda items. Before we get started, let me just say here, the board recognizes the value to school governance of public comments on educational issues and the importance of involving members of the public in board meetings. The board also recognizes its responsibility to conduct the business of the district in an orderly and efficient manner. The board has established the following guidelines to govern public participation. All statements shall be directed to the presiding officer, and no participant may address or question individual board members. Public comment is not a question-and-answer session nor debate. The public is permitted to comment but should not expect a response from the board or administration. The president may interrupt or terminate a participant's statement when the statement is too lengthy, redundant, personally directed, abusive, obscene, or irrelevant. Personal attacks on board members, administrators, or district employees will not be tolerated. Anyone who would like to comment may approach the podium. Please just give us your name and municipality, and you will be given 5 minutes.
Hi, good evening. My name is Mary Ann Garris, and I'm a 1975 graduate of Easton Area High School, go Rovers. And I'm here tonight, along with several others, including former players, to talk about a nomination for the district's Wall of Fame. When it came to our attention last year that former student athlete and head boys basketball coach Jim Hutnick has never been inducted, yet nominated many times, we decided to try again. Approximately 30 individual nominations were submitted directly to the athletic office to be forwarded to the Wall of Fame committee. We were later told by a committee member that Jim's name never even made their list, that personal bias entered into the committee decision, not his many athletic achievements. Several of the nominators wrote letters asking for an explanation or reason. None was given. We have decided to try again this year and hopefully find out why he is being excluded. The Wall of Fame criteria page states that any achievements or contributions deemed by the Wall of Fame committee to qualify a candidate for induction will be considered. So, on this year's nomination form, we have listed all of his many athletic achievements as a student, as well as his outstanding record as head boys basketball coach, which includes the school's only undefeated regular season record of 24-0. It's hard to understand how Jim has already been inducted into the 2022 Lehigh Valley chapter of the Pennsylvania Sports Hall of Fame, yet not included in his own high school's Wall of Fame. Tonight, we are submitting over 100 nominations, 113 to be exact, I believe, including 17 from Varsity E members. Many include personal notations. More have been sent directly to the committee. Let's get Jim voted to his rightful place on the Easton Area School District Wall of Fame. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Adam Williams. I'm actually not my kids don't go to school here. I live in Easton, but they go to Bethlehem Township, so forgive me for intrusion. I'm a president of the Easton Area Community Center. Just been taking up a position after 2.5 years of being a volunteer, and I want to introduce myself and also what we're doing, because I think there's a disconnect, or maybe we forgot about each other. So I wanted to say we've got 250 kids from Easton that come through here every day through basketball, cheerleading, soccer, wrestling, of course, and then after-school program. My big concern is trying to get more programs involved with the older kids, predominantly the seniors. So we started a financial literacy class where we had 3 or 4 students. They were able to turn $100 into $400 in over a 6-month period through some intense trading and tutoring. So we're going to go down that line of training for the next year. We're starting a drone program that we're trying to entice juniors and seniors to participate in to help them get employment after graduation. It's a new trade that's taking off with real estate, electricians. There's all sorts of uses for it. So those 2 things I really want to talk about and hopefully start some kind of partnership. And then my grievance, if you will, is our basketball program. We are starting to pay dues or hourly rates for gym time, which increased our fees about $7,000 per year. So for 110 kids, we doubled their expenses for recreation basketball. So this year it's fine, but next year if we can work out some kind of partnership or way to not pay all those fees over a 3-month period, I really am lost for having kids pay to use their own gym and then fight to get that gym time. So I know it's difficult. I know there's a lot of requests. I know I've talked to Carol Lear countless times, and it's a headache for me. It's a headache for everybody. But if there's a way we can improve this process moving forward, predominantly with basketball, wrestling, we can use our own facility. It's small, it's isolated. But basketball, we really need your gyms, our gym space. If you've been there, it's remodeled, but it's just too small for anybody over 6th grade. So we're struggling to get them gym time. We're going to Forks, we're going to Schrin, and paying those fees when you see what we have access to the schools here, it's insulting and it's kind of just frustrating. And for the parents, they're looking at me like, why are we even driving over here? And I really can't explain it. So in the future, if there's a way we can work around that, I would love to work with you guys. We have a lot of fundraising. We're going to do a lot of raffles for cruises. We're selling logos with basketballs on them. We're doing all kinds of stuff we can to raise money, but it's for the community. To get them to pay $60 is a lot. So when I ask them to pay $120, it's nearly impossible. So we're able to this year offset it through 2 massive donations from New Jersey corporations. They gave us about $4,000 to cover most of the fees. But I'd like to see that money go elsewhere to these new programs instead of just paying rent. So if you guys consider that next year, please think of the Saints. And if there's any way we can help you guys lower the cost or work it off or do something besides paying $7,000, it's a lot of money. So appreciate your time and have a great night. Thanks, guys.
Hi, everyone. My name's Michelle Buba. I came here last week to voice my concerns about my stepson Primo and what his school day would look like after Thanksgiving. He is in 4th grade at Shawnee Elementary. He is blind and he requires a lot of related services and other assistance throughout his day. On behalf of myself, my husband, and Primo's mom, I want to thank you guys for taking our concerns seriously and making sure that he has continued access to his education. I brought a few photos to show the board. There, pictures of Primo and his best friend Isaiah, who's also blind, and Isaiah will also benefit from your decision tonight. There's one of them at Primo's 10th birthday party this summer, and then another one at Richard's Drive-In, getting post-game milkshakes after one of their Northampton County Miracle League games. And we have their friendship. We have their teacher of the visually impaired to thank for their friendship. She introduced them, and she built that relationship. I want to also, while I have your attention, take a moment to call attention to the staff at Shawnee Elementary. They are remarkable. They heard that they were getting a blind student, and they said, well, never taught a blind kid, but we'll learn. And we met them all at open house, and they asked us everything he likes and what we thought they might want to do, what tips we had for them, and he's been coming home with these adapted art projects, and Mrs. Roof got him an adapted recorder for music class, and Mr. Rosenblatt has just been incredible with his instrumental lessons, and it's been wonderful, and it's wonderful that he's home. So if you are ever out in the community and you see Primo, please don't hesitate to stop and say hello. He loves to meet new people. He loves to introduce himself. He introduces himself to my husband at least once a week. I really appreciate the time that the board took to listen to me more so. I'm incredibly grateful that you heard our family's concerns and that you took them to heart. I really don't know if I can express that and how many sleepless nights that you saved us and what that truly means to Primo's education. So really, thank you. Thank you.
If there's no further comment, then I will ask if there's any other business from board members tonight.
I will just remind students, if we have any students here who are here for class credit, any one of us here at the table are happy to sign your agendas following the meeting. And again, we'll wish the community and the board a happy and safe Thanksgiving.
Thank you. I will take a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right. We are finished. Beat Peaburg.